Thank you for doing this with us. Really excited to do my Facebook Live with you this evening. Sorry, everyone, whoever is trying to log in to watch the live show for the delay. We had some technical snag we couldn't avoid. Yes. Hi, Diya.
Well, thank you. Hi, Chetan. And a big loud hello to all our viewers and audience. And again, thank you for your patience. We had a small technical glitch. And my name is Diya, and I'm the host for the show today. Our Story Club is excited to announce the best selling author of the book, What's Your Sun Sign, Chetan D Narain, on our show today. Welcome to our show, Chetan.
Thank you, Diya. Thank you so very much.
Great. Without any further delay, I'm going to start by reading the blurb followed by the preface of your book. So do I have your permission?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Diya. Thank you.
Thank you. So the blurb goes like this. What's your sun sign? A conversation starter, an icebreaker, a guessing game, or just genuine curiosity that can draw strangers together. 4 words that get heard a million times each time, sounding just as exciting. Dig deeper, and it's a statement that mirrors our underlying desire to know more about the other person and allows us the thrill of entering a mystical zone of people's behaviors and relationships. This witty book, without any astrological clutter, is a perfect companion to understanding your friends, family, professional associates, and more importantly, yourself. You will be amazed to see how we can touch hearts, build relationships, and connect with people when we speak to them about them. Apart from being a keen observer of human behavior from which stems this fun book, Chetan D Narain is also a DJ and enjoys playing music for friends, family, and himself. He lives in Mumbai and is a certified valuer, property and finance consultant by profession. He was also a columnist with the Times of India between 2005 to 2009.
Yes.
Wow, what a great combination.
Sorry for the long introduction, but one life theory, you got to do it everything, right? So that's what we are doing.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead and read the preface of your book now.
Thank you. Yes, that would probably set the base for people to understand that the book is not about astrology, not about predictions. And why is the book different from any other? Yes, please go ahead, please.
Thank you. God made man and woman, and she made them equal. This is politically correct statement appropriate to our times. But does that equality necessarily mean similarity? Of course not. Each one of us is born unique and different. This is something we all like to believe. Every one of us wants to stand out in the crowd. But if we are so unique and different, what are we doing in the crowd anyways? This is simply because we need the crowd to define ourselves, to know there are others like us, and to confirm that yet we are different. Haven't you asked your friends their zodiac sign and felt pleased if it were the same as yours? That's the underlying theme of human behavior. The need to connect, be one with the world. After all, we are humans and not snowflakes. How can one live with such a contradiction? In fact, it is this contradiction that makes one meet other people, befriend them, perhaps fall in love, and even get into a relationship. When we meet someone, we look at their outward appearance, but at a subconscious level, we analyze their behavior. Ever wondered why we get along so well with a certain person, whereas we can't stand the sight of another? Where does the problem lie? With us or with the person in question? Actually, there is no problem at all. We are like pieces of a jigsaw puzzle. Some fit in while others don't. Our behavioral patterns are detrimental in deciding what kind of piece we are. However, culture, upbringing, and social status play an important role in molding human behavior. These aspects can either aggravate or tone down certain personality traits in an individual. Sun signs and the attributes under each sign are like blueprints of human psyche. They are present in every individual of that particular zodiac. However, signs are, I'm sorry. However, this does not imply that every Libran or Taurian is the same, or that we can tag millions of people of any one sun sign as same. If you probe human psychology, we all set a few patterns. Someone asked me, how can one classify people in 12 zodiac signs only? But but what we do not realize is that each zodiac sign, there is man and woman. And further, each of them is either aggressive or passive, which brings the total to 48. This book will help you explore and find out which of these 48 behavioral patterns represents your friends and you the best. The observations and writing is based on human psychology and behaviors alone, and not on planetary movements and or astrology. It is amazing how we can touch hearts, break ice, and find quicker proximity to people when we speak to them about them. Wow, Chetan. I mean, this is really interesting to know.
My own preface gave me goosebumps. So that's pretty interesting.
Absolutely. That's what I realized as well. There were so many thoughts running in my mind while I was reading the preface. And I'm sure by now our audience wants to know more about the book and sun signs. And without delaying any further, here is your first question. Are we ready?
Yes.
Great. So, Chetan, my first question to you is what inspired you write a book on sun signs?
The inspiration started at a very early age, not to write a book, but to start understanding people and reading their behavior patterns and understanding their personality traits. It started with me. That's how usually everything starts, is when you learn a little bit more about yourself. Because as much as you know about yourself, there are certain things, it's like looking into the mirror. Is when you look into the mirror, you know what you look like, but when you look into the mirror, you see flaws, maybe you see good things. That's what happened to me when I read my first book on sun signs, which was written by Linda Goodman at an age of 16. When I read it, I was quite, you know, taken aback when she had so many facts to say about my sun sign, and it was I could resonate with it. It allowed me to feel more comfortable with my own self, more than anything else, to know certain quirks, certain good things, a lot of bad things, that probably are aligned with my sun sign. And it was um quite comforting in many ways to know that I'm normal. I'm not a specimen from any angle. That okay, theek hai, this sun sign person, uh, particular gender is like that by nature. So these are his personality traits. So that when I studied further, it led to a couple of um more revelations for me, where I realized that if there is a Leo sun sign male, there is a assertive, aggressive Leo, and there is a passive, easygoing Leo. Both in the both genders, let's say, for example, Leo women and Leo men, there are a percentage of passive aggressive uh, type. Uh, so when I started studying this as a behavior, this became more of a party conversation to have when I was with friends, or when you meet a new person, you typically ask, "What's your sun sign?" And then you get into a little bit more detail, and then you try to read that person, whether the person is aggressive, whether the person is passive. When you meet people, usually for the first time, everybody puts their best foot forward, so it's not really easy to understand people. But it's a gift God's given me, and I'm very happy to share it with everyone. It's free for learning. Everybody can go and now read a little bit, do their little bit of homework, and make their own observations. Yep, I hope that answers your question.
Wow, absolutely. And really, like you said, that back when you were 16, you started developing that interest. If I really go back to my memory lane, I remember my college days where we used to have newspapers in our libraries. And the moment we would lay hands on them, most of us would start flipping the pages and reach this section or the column where we could read our daily predictions as per our sun sign. And especially if it was an important event or a test, we, I think, relied more on the sun sign prediction rather than on the books.
True. That would be more of prediction. That is something I don't do. I don't rely,
Right.
I don't rely on it either. I do read it for fun, I
Mhm.
must confess. It's a
Yes.
lot of fun to read a little bit about what, but most of the things are
Right.
so generic and so general in
Right.
nature. When you read, let's say, about Taurus or a
Mhm.
Scorpio,
Mhm.
A doesn't specify whether that person who's predicting is talking about a man or a woman. Then there are
Mhm.
millions of people around the world. Is that same thing going to happen to a million of Scorpios around the world, men and
Right.
women? So I kind of take it more in the spirit of fun and read it, enjoy it, shut the paper and forget about it. But yes, I mean,
Yeah.
each his own. So yeah.
Right. So my next question to you is, what are the key points or characteristics that differentiates the male from the females in the sun signs?
Uh, it's a very interesting question. More genetically, we know that how men and women are different, but women more so evolve from being girls to getting to womanhood. Um Even becoming a parent, changes women more than men. So I have noticed these things about maturity of how, let's say, a particular sun sign, let's say female as gender, behaved when she was 16, when she was 26, and when she was 36, and now she's 46. How they mature and they evolve, because besides,
Mhm.
see, marriage is not everything, but if you do get married, and then when you do
Mm.
have kids,
Right.
it evolves people, and you change for the better. You learn to be more patient. Your outward
Right.
look to life is different, so I guess it is different. Men being men, they evolve too. I think they learn patience. Some of them go
Mhm.
crazy. Some of them are, not. Seriously, I've seen some men just don't mature. So I really don't know. At least I'm not one of them. At least I'm not one of them. Parenthood taught me a lot of maturity as well.
Okay.
So it also taught me to respect my parents more. So I guess men and women are different. And to talk specifically about sun signs, under each sun sign there is a lot of differentiation
Mhm.
between the core characteristics of a man and a
Mhm.
woman. But at the
Mhm.
same time, there are few very strong similarities that do exist.
So the disparity is not completely opposite. There might be certain deviations, but not too much. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, so there are certain similarities within a sun sign of one sun sign in both genders,
Mhm.
uh, but uh, but but women typically would be more emotional, more sensitive,
Right.
more pragmatic.
Right.
Men sometimes can be brash.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's the other way around, where there's a passive male sun sign. He's more
Mhm.
understanding, he's more giving, he's more kind. And the woman is, different, probably, the roles are reversed there.
Right.
Yeah, so it's kind of, yeah, a very deep subject and a very individual subject. So it's not something that I can generally comment on. So
And I think that's exactly what makes it so interesting.
I hope so. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, my next question to you is, tell us some interesting facts about a Taurus woman.
Is there a reason why you're asking me about Taurus women?
Well, to mention that I am a Taurian, and
Mhm.
also I have a lot of people in the audience who are Taurian too. So I believe that everybody is eager to know what are some important facts and points about being a Taurian woman.
Sure. May not be facts, but at least my observations.
Right.
So I'm just going to pick this up quickly from my book and read this out the way it's written in the book. I've just picked up
Great.
randomly something that I thought was very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So the Taurus woman has a feminine knack of dressing up. But here again, practicality takes precedence. Although Her taste in clothes would be expensive. It would be pragmatic to the core. Another aspect I have noticed about Taurian personality is a love for aesthetics. She appreciates beautiful things, from artifacts to artworks. She also finds herself drawn to fine arts such as painting, music, and dance forms. And to get the best out of her, she should be taken out of her original habitat in the lap of nature. Now that I've said all these nice things, I thought I'll talk a little bit about how the Taurus women are cynical. So I thought that everybody gets to hear all good things. They should hear
Yes,
something,
yes, absolutely.
something nasty.
I
So
think that's exactly what balances Chetan, right? You have good points and then you have points that would again balance those good points with, I
abs-
won't call them negative.
yeah, they are not negative. These are facts of people. So yeah, that's
Yes.
so I have found that almost all Taurus women to be cynics to a great extent. Like their male counterparts, they are stubborn and they need to have their way with everything. Although both kinds possess, when I say both kinds, the passive and the aggressive assertive,
Aggressive. Okay.
possess cynicism, their way of exhibiting the same is different. The
Okay.
aggressive Taurus female would put her foot down hard and do her will, while the passive one will be stubborn, but more in a subtle manner. That's all I got for you on Taurus woman.
I think I have both of them.
Sorry?
I think I have both of them.
Both qualities.
Yes, aggressive and passive. So stubborn and yes, a bit of aggression. Yeah, I won't deny that
That's
at
good.
times.
It, see, a bit of positive aggression gets you to places in life. So
Yes,
I really feel that aggression can be used in a very positive way.
right. I also do hear a lot about Taurus men, but then, when people talk about Taurus men and their traits and behavior, at times I'm not able to resonate with them. So, are they different from us, the Taurus women?
Very different, I think. Taurus men, I'll have to be careful here. My father's a Taurus, and if he watches the show, he'll kill me. Uh,
I'm sure he's read your book.
he has read my book, and he's also read the audio chapter, which I did an audio book for the blind. So he read the audio chapter for me as well. So the Taurus men, although are very family-oriented men, um, one of their key weaknesses is being selfish and self-centered. They, while they think about everyone around them, I
Mhm.
think I don't know if they would be very different from any other person, but they think about themselves first, and then they usually life has to evolve around them. Uh, Also, there is a sort of a dictatorship when it comes to Taurus men trying to be authoritative to prove that they are man or man enough to, and they throw their
Right.
weight around in that sense. I'm not saying all Taurus men are like that. I think
Mhm.
there are a bunch of them I've met personally, extremely kind-hearted, including
Mhm.
my publisher and dear brother Shobit Arya, who's a Taurus man and what a lovely personality to hang out with. So yeah, so there
Wow.
are all kinds of behaviors that sum up, let's say, the
Mhm.
assertive kind, aggressive kind, and the
Mhm.
passive and the submissive kind.
Yeah, I'm sure about that.
Yeah.
To which my next question would be about Libran women. So, would you be able to share certain important behavior traits about Libran women?
Libra women, let me quickly get a hold of that chapter.
Sure.
It should be here. What I'm going to do is, just to make life easy and not waste too much time, just read out a few lines and paragraphs out of the book for Libra woman.
Mhm.
A Libra woman is a true lady in every sense, and more so in her appreciation of beauty. She likes everything around her to be appealing, people around her to be graceful, and the man of her life to be gentlemanly. She's also quite opinionated and is open to views from others too. Like her male counterpart, She likes to weigh the pros and cons of every situation before forming an opinion. Although this habit is a healthy one in terms of business or life in general, she takes it rather too seriously in matters of heart. You will have to spend much quality time with her before getting a classic yes from her. This woman also has a lot of tact, which is evident from the way she orates and behaves. Added to that is her intelligence. This makes her get along well with people. Her natural friendliness makes her all the more charming. Libra females also have a great sense of humor. I must add, one of my closest friends, Della, she lives in London, in UK.
Mhm.
She has the worst, wackiest sense of humor, and uh, and then I've met a lot of women friends who are Libra again, and they have this natural sense of being funny about just about everything, and being practical, being taking things in their stride, and not getting too serious about everything else in life. So I think that that makes them really charming. Yeah.
And that's a great quality, I would say. For a lot of people, I see that the sense of humor comes in very naturally. They don't have to make in or put in a lot of effort in cracking jokes or adding humor to the situation,
True, very true, very true.
right? So, do you say that Libra women would be one of them?
Oh, absolutely, yes. I think
Wow.
Libra women, Capricorn women, Pisces women,
Okay.
Cancerian women, uh,
Right.
Leo, Scorpio, couple of them. They have a funny side to them. A lot of other sun signs I've met are quite, Aquarius women are quite funny too. A
Mhm.
lot of otherwise I've seen a lot of people, are usually very serious, very straight faced.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm not saying the people belonging to other signs don't have a sense of humor or not funny. I'm not trying to be a diplomat. I'm just trying
No,
to be honest,
absolutely.
because this is a it's not a biography. It's not about somebody. It's a very general question, and I'm just giving you a very general answer, purely based on the observations I have made about people I have met in this span of life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Is something that, interests me actually. And I would like to know if it is true that there are 6 feminine and 6 masculine sun signs. For example, Scorpio is a masculine sun sign, whereas Capricorn is a feminine sun sign. So is that true?
Wow, where are these questions coming from? I am not sure because I haven't personally studied this, but you've given me some
Mm-hmm.
food for thought.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but your point about Scorpio being a masculine sign is true for most October born women that I have met. There is a certain aggression and certain masculinity to which I have seen and I've observed that they behave in, but at the same time retaining a very feminine, facade. Scorpio men in general, most of them are masculine and try to be more macho and usually succeed at that. So yeah, good luck to them. You asked me a question about Capricorn women being or Capricorns being feminine or Capricorn women being feminine. It should be all about Capricorn women.
No, Capricorn. No, the sun sign itself, is it a feminine sun sign?
No, not really. I don't think it's valid. I don't think I've met any Capricorn man who has a feminine side. Uh, and I've met lots of Capricorn men. In general, in life, I've met lots and lots of people. I've traveled a lot. I've done a lot of work. I've been in a business which makes me meet a lot of new people. But I haven't met anybody from Capricorn. I have met Sagittarius men where I've seen a feminine side to the Sagittarius man in the behavior, in the face
Okay.
expressions, into the emotions in some places like that.
Mhm.
But not and Aquarius men as well. I've seen certain like that, but not Capricorn men. But
Mhm.
Capricorn women, I think 80% or 75 to 80% of the women I've met are absolutely ultra feminine, and although some of them are tomboyish and a lot of fun to be with, uh, there is a complete different side of 20-25% of Capricorn women who are slightly assertive, aggressive,
Mhm.
who who are in a female body, but come across more as
As a man.
more as men. Yes, yes,
Wow.
yeah.
Now we know why.
They talk like men, and that's how it is.
Okay, Chetan, on public demand, a lot of our viewers want to know a few traits and characteristics of a Capricorn man.
Capricorn man. Now you put me in a spot. So, um see, a Capricorn man is extremely charming. He has his way with words. Um, I have seen that from a very young age, they uh, manage to be very business minded, and most Capricorn men that I have met have been very successful entrepreneurs,
Right.
businessmen. Um, Besides that, when I say charming, they usually have uh, a huge bunch of girlfriends, whether whether they are married or not married. So, yeah, if you're married to a Capricorn man, and if you know that he's charming, I think a woman should be on guard. And
Hmm,
um, um, but overall, I think they are very warm-hearted, very
hmm,
helpful. I have a very dear friend, Saurabh, who's a Capricorn, and he goes out of his way to, help people for whatever. I mean, the smallest things, whether it's for
hmm,
your kids. Like I remember him knowing that my son loves cricket. He
hmm.
bought a signed bat of the entire Indian cricket team for him, and he gifted it to him. Small things like that. So there is a lot of compassion as well within the Capricorn.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can resonate with that completely because I have somebody in my family who's again a Capricorn. He's got tremendous sense of humor. He's very compassionate. At the same time, I do tell him that you've got a Midas touch. So everything that he touches would turn into gold. He's got that pure business mentality and mindset, even though he doesn't come from a background wherein his family is from that business background, but great ideas. I don't know where does he get them from.
वाह, मेरे पास भेजो, मेरे को पैसे की कमी हो रही है लॉकडाउन में.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Done. We all need him then.
Yes.
Okay. So, Uday, my next question to you is why is there a general hype about scorpions? I really want to know that. I've heard a lot of people talk a lot about scorpions and people who are scorpions talking a lot about them. So, why is there a general hype about scorpions?
So tell me, what have you heard so that I can answer and address that question? So typically, what I
Hmm.
have heard is that ये स्कॉर्पियो है, इससे बच के रहना. Whether it is a man or a woman. Uh,
Hmm.
Typically, that is what I've heard most. And I've
Yeah.
also heard this from Scorpio friends,
Yes.
that this is what my friends say to me, or this is what
Yes.
strangers tell me.
Right.
I really don't know why. Maybe to a great extent, uh, uh, some, if not few, and I have to be diplomatic here,
Hmm.
Scorpio men should be taking blame for it, because I have known Scorpio men very closely,
Okay.
and they can be very charming and very friendly to begin with. And
Mhm.
once they have their way with you, they have a complete different flip side to them,
Right.
which is their real personality, which comes out.
Mhm.
Um, that uh, is also observed in certain Scorpio women, not all of them. I met some
Mhm.
really nice Scorpio women who are very warm, very friendly, and have
Mhm.
always remained mature. One thing I've seen about Scorpio men and women both is that
Mhm.
they mature at a very early age, by 15, 16, where people are still not being able to put their foot on the ground.
Mhm.
They have a lot of maturity, a lot of sense of things that are happening around them. uh, they pick on things really quickly. They're quite intuitive, if I may add. Uh, so I don't know about the hype, but yes,
Mhm.
it is true that people have been asked to be on guard as such
Yeah.
when they deal with Scorpio. Now, again, I have to be gender specific, so I would say that maybe men, one could should be more at guard. Women, you should also try and analyze and be a little cautious, be a little comfortable. If you're talking about relationships,
Mhm.
I think women, Scorpio women, are blind when they fall in love. So usually there's nothing to worry about. So the
Mhm.
worry is when the man is not committed and the woman is head over heels
Yes.
or is in love and is kind of
Right.
obsessed. They get very obsessive. Both men
Right.
and Scorpio get very obsessive by they are obsessive by nature, and that kind of makes them a little scary. And I think that's when people back off a little bit. And these could be the reasons why there may be a little bit of hype. Yeah.
Right. I think that can be with any sun sign, when you don't have compatibility or when you have compatibility with certain sun signs. And that's why, as your preface reads, that you would have people, certain people with whom you would get along too well, and then certain people you just would not be able to step on the right foot.
True. True.
Right.
Yes.
So, also, your blood reads allow us the thrill of entering into a mystical zone. Now, what is that mystical zone? Can you share something about it?
Uh, the mystical zone is typically secrets of your own that people don't generally would or would not really know about. Now, if I were to tell you five things, which I'm not going to do right now,
Hmm.
about you, which only you know,
Hmm.
that's a mystical zone. So when I put the book down, I went into a lot of detail. I don't think, not because it's my book, but I don't think there is any book as such which has done such a lot of detailing on small aspects of how the person is when she is in love or he is in love, or with money matters, or what are the like cynicism, suspicion,
Hmm.
jealousy. There are a lot of subtopics that I covered about every sun sign and every gender. So those are the mystical zones where you don't really have an entry when you meet people for the first time or the second time or the third time, because generally people are nice and they're trying to put their best foot
Right.
forward. And whatever you are getting and gathering in forming an opinion upon or based upon what you see or what is emoted towards you. So that's the mystical zone, I think, in short, to answer your question. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. I think everybody has that mystical side to them. And when somebody else comes and tells you that, and that's when you are astonished.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. Well, I think there is another question in demand, and there's somebody from our viewer who would want to know the compatibility between a Capricorn woman and a Taurus man.
I think it's a great compatibility. I have observed within the couples that I have met over a period of time. The only issue here is that while the Capricorn woman is usually very flexible
Mhm.
and going and understanding, if the Taurus man takes too much advantage of that,
Hmm.
which he usually does, the Taurus
Hmm.
man, once he manages to get into that zone, he
Hmm.
gets very comfortable controlling people. It's just not the Capricorn woman here in this case, or it could be anybody. So they are control freaks. So
Hmm.
that can cause a rift, and I think that's when you can sit the Taurus man down and explain to him that you're not something that you can just walk all over. Other than that, I think the romance that a Capricorn woman looks for does exist in a Taurus man. The Taurus man, usually when he's in love, I have seen that dotes over his companion, and he's a good provider. He's a good husband, a good father. Unless you really come across a wrong, cynical, crazy dictator type of a Taurus, then God bless you. I can't say anything more.
Okay. Well, thank you. I think that answers the question. The next thing that we would like to know would be about you. Tell us a sun sign amongst men and one amongst women you really get well with.
I get along with.
Yes.
Not just one. So for men, I get along really well with Libra men and Sagittarius men. With females, I get along well with Capricorn women, Gemini women, and a few select Scorpio women too. Yeah.
Okay. That's nice. So, about Gemini, my next question is what is the controversy about Gemini being two faced?
Wow. So I started my book with the Gemini woman chapter, where with the first two paragraphs explaining exactly the same thing, that uh, the Gemini woman sometimes is misunderstood to be two-faced because she's able to multitask and do many things at one time. A lot of people, which a lot of people cannot manage. Um, I think if you really study human behavior, almost everyone is two-faced at some point or the other.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But in defense of uh, not the Gemini woman, but to specify, I think I have found Gemini men in many cases to be two-faced. So if there is any such thing like a two-faced, I think Gemini man does qualify, because I've had several bad experiences with work, friendship, personal relationships as friends, um, where things have just changed. Let's say overnight, and the person is not the same person you thought that person is. Um, so that's probably the reason why I think the term two-faced may have been assigned to the Gemini. Also, the sun sign probably has something to do with it, the image that they probably have created. Um, but that probably is the astrological part of
Right.
it. But I think there are about 15-20% of Gemini women also, I think, who qualify to be two-faced, because I have met those kind as well. So, yeah.
So it's not a controversy. There are people, and then you, as you said, human behavior is like that. We
Yes.
tend to be
So
two-faced
I would
depending on
say that
situations.
if you're putting Gemini in that basket, I would put all 12 sun signs into the basket and say you will find specimen everywhere who are two-faced. So, yeah. So go
Right.
Gemini. Yes.
All right. The next question would be if you could tell us something about Sagittarius men.
Sagittarius men. I'm sure this is initiated by Arun.
Oh,
Arun, the
yes.
Sagittarius man, our
Our
founder of
founder.
the Club.
Yes.
Okay. I'll just read out from the chapter a few paragraphs which are pretty interesting. Most of the things are all charming and good. That's one of the reasons I think he wants to be more famous.
Let us all know about it.
Yes, the Sagittarius men are seen and known to be more assertive than aggressive. There might be some 15 odd percent of Sagittarius men who would have an aggressive body language. The majority come across as extremely composed, patient, sure about what they want and where they wish to get, without showing least amount of apprehension or urgency. You can usually spot a Sagittarius man through his speech. He is usually very knowledgeable, and when he speaks, you will notice certain authoritativeness on the subject of his conversation. He is great at playing with words and is usually very charming with women. I have a friend called Ramesh Menon in Delhi. If you're watching this, I think you're one of them. He's a Sagittarius, so he fits the bill here. He
I
is
think Arun fits the bill here too. I mean, whatever you read about him, they almost match. As
he
much as I know him.
Yeah, let me continue. He is equally animated during conversations with male friends too. This is one guy who likes to use logic in everything. Although practical, he is also extremely adventurous and not one to dread trying untested waters. In his commitments as well as words, he is extremely straightforward and blunt. Yet he possesses a unique quality of being a diplomat too. I have a very dear friend again, Zubair, who, I always called him a big diplomat, and I keep telling him you should get into politics. So,
Or
so
HR.
yes, so much
At
for
times people say it.
fame for the Sagittarius man.
Wow. But that's an interesting observation, I would say.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, the subject of sun signs is evergreen, and how handy a book like this to have to understand people around us and who come into our lives. While this may not be a biography of them, it gives us an insight to a great extent. What are your views on this?
Uh, if you need to make new cuisine, new food that you haven't tried, let's say Lebanese food, Italian food, French food, you need a recipe book.
Right,
You refer to a recipe online, you watch a video on YouTube.
right,
This kind of a book becomes a guide in a similar way to understanding people, their personality, their behavior patterns. It allows you to know or what to expect, what not to expect. Um, if you already are in a relationship and you already know the person well, this is
right.
across the board. When I say relationship, it could be between two brothers, it could
Mm,
be between a father and a son, or a daughter and a mother, or a daughter and a father.
mm,
It could be between two sisters. Understanding each other is the key to any relationship. The
right,
subtext of my book says fun way to understand people, strike
right,
great conversations, and build joyful relationships, minus the astrology jargon. So
right.
that's the key, really. So I guess the underlining theme behind the book is to help people understand themselves and their loved ones better.
I think that's really great, and I'm really thrilled to read your book. I'm really intrigued. I really want to know about different sun signs and know their behavior, their personalities. And today you have given us a great insight about a lot of zodiacs in terms of men and women both. And with that, we are moving on to our next round, which we call is our throwback round. Now, the reason why we do that is we say that throwback round is because I'm going to say a word to you, and you will throw back one or more sun signs under each gender for that word.
Oh, okay, sure. Let me see how good I can be at this.
Great. Are we good to go?
Yes.
Great. The first one, loyal.
Taurus. Okay, so let me
Yay.
start with women. Yeah, so I'll define it by gender, women and men. First to please you, not to please you, but it is the truth. Loyal. For women, it would be Taurus, Sagittarius, Virgo. Um, I think I'll stop there because I have known a lot of people who haven't been loyal. So, and for men, it would be most, if not all, Aries, Taurus, and Leo.
I just made a mental note of it.
Okay.
All right. The next one, flirtatious.
Flirtatious. Wow. For women, it would be Capricorn in a very subtle way, Scorpio in a very mixed, subtle, and a very direct way, Gemini women, Sagittarius women. For men, I think all. I mean, all.
Irrespective of the sun sign.
Yes, so I think all 12.
That was a good one.
Yes.
Great. The next word is promiscuous.
Ouch. That's a very,
Ouch.
very difficult word to give an explanation for based on sun signs. Also, it is not fair, in all honesty, to pinpoint fingers at somebody and say that this particular sun sign in general is like that. It is a very personal choice that somebody may make out of
Right.
need or out of desperation or choice or whatever. And I don't think we are anybody to judge anybody on a
Absolutely.
subject like that. So instead of labeling the entire clan of a particular sun sign,
Hmm.
I would just say let people be. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Again, it's not my place to judge, nor is your place to judge. But just let people be. Next point:
Daring.
daring.
Yes.
Aries women, Leo, Sagittarius, and Virgo women.
Okay.
Aries men, Taurus, Capricorn, and Scorpio men.
Okay. Great. The next one coming up, controversial.
Controversial.
Yeah.
I think Scorpio scores highest, but okay. So Scorpio, Sagittarius,
Mhm,
Leo,
mhm.
and
These are men or women.
Aries women,
Okay.
because they create a lot of controversies because they are too bold and too direct at times. Uh, Controversial men would be Capricorn men because they sometimes put their foot in their mouth. Pisces men because I've known some of them to be really nasty liars and charming to get what they want, and then they turn out to be different men. Not all of
Okay.
them, but I've met some of them.
Okay.
And Virgo men also are known to be quite controversial. You'll be surprised that you know Virgo and Libra audio chapters on YouTube have
Hmm.
had the highest viewings and audio listening. I think over 45,000 or 48,000 under each of these chapters, while the rest could be about 15,000, 20,000, 30,000. So the most complicated and controversial sun signs
Right.
could be. So I haven't said Libra yet, but Libra men are, charming and suave in their own style, so they don't come across controversial. But I could add Libra man here. Yeah,
To a certain extent.
yeah, to a certain extent. Yeah. Otherwise,
Great.
they're quite honest and straightforward. Yeah.
I guess so. Yes. Right. The next one is emotional.
Should have been all women here, all 12 sun signs, but that's not really
Yes.
necessarily true, but not necessarily true. So, emotional, Cancer women are the most emotional.
Okay.
Um Pisces women,
Mhm.
Scorpio women, and Capricorn women. For men, emotional, Aries, Pisces, Aquarius, and Cancerian.
Okay. The next one is headstrong.
Taurus women, Scorpio women, Leo and Aries, men Virgo, Libra, Sagittarius, and Aries. Almost in that order.
Wow. Great. Uh, Risky.
Did I hear whiskey? It's all dry here. There's no daru available. uh,
That's the same everywhere.
yeah.
Yeah.
So risky, I don't really know how to categorize sun signs under risky. So it's something you do and learn. So I think
Mhm.
everybody is risky in that form. It all depends on what you're wanting and what you're looking out
Hmm.
for versus what you get. So I think we'll skip the sun signs categorization under risky.
Yeah, I think at some or the other point, every sun sign would take certain risks.
True.
Every individual would.
Yeah.
Okay. Focused.
Focused.
Hmm.
uh, I know I'm sounding like I'm being biased towards Capricorn and Gemini women, but I have, this is again my observation. So, Capricorn women, Gemini women, Aquarius women, again, Capricorn men, Taurus men, Virgo men,
Mhm.
And I think that's it. I think the rest of them are quite, you know, uh, having fun and doing everything else. But I've not seen too much of focus. Some Cancerian men, when they are, determined to work hard and make it big in life, I've seen that they are focused.
Okay, the next one is detached.
Detached. Hmm. Aquarius women,
Okay,
some Libra women,
okay,
and some Sagittarius women.
okay,
For men, again, Capricorn, Pisces to a great extent, Virgo again to a great extent, and Scorpio.
okay. The next word is patient.
Patient, Capricorn and Libra women. For men, Aquarius, some Gemini men, and Libra men. Yeah.
Okay. The last word for this throwback round, stunning personalities.
So this is all for my Capricorn friends. So Capricorn women,
Mhm,
Pisces is a long list of women actually when you think about stunning personalities, because you see them on screen, you've seen actresses, you've seen models, I've
mhm,
seen real life people. So a compilation of that would be Capricorn women,
mhm,
Pisces, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Libra. I think some of them are really beautiful looking Libra women. Scorpio, again, very stunning. And Sagittarius women, yes. And for men, again, I think I'm sounding biased towards Capricorn men. I have no idea why, but Capricorn, Aries, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Sagittarius.
Okay, that's a long list. I think everybody is stunning in their own way. There are certain, parts about their personality or factors about your personality that would make you stunning in some way or the other.
Absolutely, absolutely. So this is just a question you asked me, and off the cuff, to give you a quick answer
Right.
of people that come to my mind, and personalities that come to my mind. But other than that, I'm sure what you said is absolutely right.
Right. Well, after knowing so much in your book and sun signs, we are all what's your sun sign, Chetan?
I'm an Aries. Yes.
Wow.
So
We
you find
haven't,
within the answers that I gave you, Aries, couple of places,
yes.
but I'm not being biased.
Mhm.
I'm not very sure that I like most of the Aries. I'm not even sure if I like most of the Aries men that I have met. Barring for a few friends that I have, I find some of them very difficult to deal with. So yeah, so I've never been biased about it, and even most of the zodiac sign or sun sign books start with Aries as a chapter. I've started my book with the first month of the year, sort of. So I've started the book with Capricorn women, and then Capricorn men, and then ends with Sagittarius. So
Wow.
I hope that answers your question.
Absolutely. I think everybody wanted to know that about you. And with that, we're almost at the end of our show today. We really had a lot of fun interacting with you today, knowing interesting things about sun signs. And thank you once again for coming to our show, Chetan. We had a great time.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun, although it's late in the night in Mumbai, but it's a lot of fun. And I'm sure people who are interested in sun signs and knowing more about people and their behaviors will enjoy a topic like that. And thank you for making this happen, Diya, Arun, Shivani, and the entire team at the Story Club.
Thank you. And to all our lovely viewers, a Story Club Live happens every Saturday at 9:30 p.m. IST, 9 a.m. PDT, and 12 noon EDT. Please follow our founder, Arun Bhagwati, and our co-founder, Shivani Dalal, on Facebook and Instagram, and your host, Diya Bahubalindra, signing out. Stay home and stay safe from a story club to all of you around the world. Love you all. Bye. And then
Thank
see you
you.
next Saturday. Thank you, Chetan.
This was my first Saturday Night Live, and I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Thank you, everybody.
Cheers. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Cheers. Bye.